Good morning, here I am again. Today I really want to talk about these cravings that strike out of nowhere and what you can do about them. Yeah, so I'm going to go through that, but I'm just thinking in my mind, I want to premise it with something. So what I want to premise it with is sometimes you're going to desire something that isn't that healthy, and you can't stop yourself. So it's just going to strike. And when it strikes like that, you kind of don't want to give yourself a hard time. You really want to, you are going to do it. You are going to slip up. You are going to have moments when when the craving strikes and, you want the bowl of crisps, you want the glass of red wine, you want the bar of chocolate. So don't beat yourself up because there's going to be times like that. The strategy I'm going to give you is very much for those moments when you can stop yourself. And hopefully, most of the time, you're going to be able to stop yourself. And what I'm going to talk about tomorrow is something called vision boarding, which is really good as part of your strategy. It's not part of this 5-step in the moment strategy, but it's part of the bigger strategy that you can use to keep on track, when you want to create a different way within yourself. You want to feel better, you want to have more confidence, you want to lose weight, you want to have more energy, whatever it is that you're really needing and wanting in that moment. So I'm going to talk about that more tomorrow, about how if you can create a vision board and really allow yourself to dream into how you want to look and feel, how you want your life to be, it's going to be so much easier when the craving hits, when the desire hits and you really want that food or the drink. And the other point I wanted to make is that, yes, we are in a lockdown and we know how it goes because we were in one last year. That doesn't make it any easier. Possibly it makes it even harder because, we've been there, we've done it, and now we're back there again. So again, these Facebook Lives that I'm doing, these videos I'm doing are really to help you be as kind to yourself as possible and find a way through in those difficult moments. So I'm going to go through what to do in that moment when that craving strikes. But before I do that, I keep kind of moving around with my ideas. It's really understanding that there are, what I've identified are 3 thoughts that we have in that moment before we choose that comfort food or whatever it is. And the first thought is, I want it, of course. So we want whatever it is, the chocolate bar or the cake or the ice cream or the alcohol. And then the second thought is, but I shouldn't because, I'm on a healthy kick here and I'm trying to look after myself and I want more energy and I want to feel good. So that's the second thought. And that's the kind of denying yourself, the denial. And then the third thought is the one to really catch, because the third thought is the permission thought. So you've had the first thought, I want. You've had the second thought, I shouldn't. And then you have the third thought, which is, but I've had a long day. I've been good all week. I'll be better tomorrow. Whatever that permission thought is, you want to catch that because that's the one that's going to take you down the rabbit hole and you're going to end up making that choice that perhaps is not going to be in alignment with your healthy goals. So see if you can catch that thought. So I'm now going to jump into my 5-step strategy. So the first thing when that craving hits and when those thoughts happen, the first thing is to stop. Stop what you're doing and put your full attention on the thoughts that are going through your head in that moment. And there'll be those kinds of 3 thoughts that I just described to you. Then, and take a breath. Then the second thing is to ask yourself a question. Am I hungry? Am I tired? Am I thirsty? Am I feeling emotional? And if you're feeling emotional, what is the emotion? Can you label it? You know, is it anger, jealousy? Is it fearfulness? Is it sadness? You know, what's the kind of feeling you have within yourself that you want to change? And if you can label it, it helps. It doesn't matter if you don't. It really doesn't matter if you don't, because you can download that later. That's the fifth step. So the first step is stop. The second step is ask yourself a question. The third step is distract yourself. This is really important. So in that moment that you really want that food or that drink, is to stop yourself in that moment, distract yourself, move yourself away from the kitchen and do something different. So occupy yourself in some way, whether that's loading the dishwasher or actually you want to get out of the kitchen. Maybe do the washing, call a friend, go for a walk outside, play some loud music, you know, do whatever you can to distract yourself. Now, the research shows that cravings last about 15 minutes. But in my heyday of loving chocolate, a craving could last well over an hour. And during that time, that 15 minutes and that hour, while you're loading up, not loading the dishwasher because you want to get out of the kitchen typically, maybe loading up the laundry or folding the laundry or ironing or talking to a friend or whatever, is to, in the back of your mind, be talking to yourself in the kindest way possible. So during that 15 minutes, or maybe it's an hour like it used to be with me, is you're talking to yourself and reminding yourself of what you're trying to achieve here. Why are you trying to avoid having that chocolate or that glass of wine? And the reason why you're doing it, which is you want to feel better, you want to have more energy, you want to be able to go on that trip of a lifetime in a year's time or whenever we're free. You know, you want more energy so that you can pursue a new line of business. You know, whatever it is, you're reminding yourself of the reasons why you're doing it, but you're not beating yourself up. You're talking to yourself in the kindest possible way, almost as if you're a small child. It's okay. So I'll talk to myself. It's okay, Sophie. I know you really want this chocolate, but remember how you're going to feel in an hour's time. You're going to feel groggy and headachy, and you're not going to feel great. And then when you've distracted, a good thing to do, so my fourth step is actually to have a glass of water. If you've just eaten a big meal, you probably just want a few sips of water, because it's not good to drink a lot of water straight after you've eaten. It will dilute the digestive enzymes and it's not good for you. But maybe have a few sips. And the reason I always recommend a glass of water is because when our cravings hit, our blood sugar drops. And depending on what we've eaten during that meal can actually cause a drop in our blood sugar. So it'll temporarily raise it up. But if it's a very salty dish, a very processed dish, if it has no water in it, if it has a lot of sugar in it, if you have alcohol with it, if you have dessert with it, it's going to be very dehydrating and it's going to drop your blood sugar, so that within a short space of time after you've eaten, you're actually hungry again, or you feel hungry, your blood sugar's dropped. So it's not hunger, we know it isn't, it's your need for water. So have a glass of water. And then the final thing is what I call download. And this is where you give yourself a moment to kind of consider what's just happened. You know, why did you want that chocolate? Why did you want that glass of wine? You know, how are you feeling in that moment? And you might have answered that question in the second step when I ask you, you know, what is this about? Am I hungry? Am I thirsty? Am I tired? Am I emotional in some way? Am I feeling angry? Am I feeling hurt, sad, disappointed, upset about something? And the download part is to give you an opportunity to tune in. So that's my 5 steps. You've got your stop, you've got your ask yourself that question, distract yourself, have a glass of water, and then do a download. And something else that's really helpful is almost to keep a health journal. Particularly, I find this appeals to women, where we're quite good at writing down our thoughts and feelings. So a health journal is where you keep a note of what you're eating, and then when you have a difficult moment and you feel like you want to eat something that isn't in your kind of 80% that and that moment, that you write it down and you write down how you're feeling. And I add to this idea that you don't restrict yourself 100%, that you do that 80-20. So you still factor in your favourite foods. So you're going to do this 5-step strategy when you're outside of that 20%, you know, when you've already had the chocolate that week or you've had the alcohol or whatever, and this is a craving that you're trying to sort out, okay? So it's not about 100% restriction, it's about enjoying your foods, but putting them within a structure so that you can really enjoy them. And then the final thing is, if you give in to your cravings, do not beat yourself up. It's a complete waste of energy and you won't learn from it. So when you slip up, you be curious, you be non-judgmental, say, okay, that happened, tomorrow's another day, let's start again, and maybe do a download and see what was it about, what was it that triggered you. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about vision boarding and dreams and kind of making your goals a bit bigger so that you're more likely to stick to them. So it isn't just about losing weight, but, you know, make it bigger, make it more exciting, make it more enjoyable. So tomorrow I'll talk about that. And over the coming days, I'm not sure when, I'll talk about the emotional sabotage. So how we can, I've spoken about some of the sabotage today, but some of the more deeper kind of stress elements that really impact whether we're successful or not. So I hope you found that helpful. If you've got any questions, as always, get in touch. If you feel that you need someone to help you to get onto a really good health path, then why not invest some time and some money into doing that. So I have some great packages on my website and they can all be adapted to whatever you need. So if you feel like this is your time and you're furloughed at home and in lockdown and you want to invest some time and some money into creating your dream life and your best healthy way of life, then get in touch. I'd love to talk to you and work with you. Okay, all the best for now. Speak to you tomorrow.